here's your Rutherford weather forecast.
Well, here we are twice in one day. It has been a stormy day, and now meteorologist Justin Bailey joins me, and we're going to talk about the potential impacts from Helene, which I guess, Justin, by this time tomorrow, maybe even later this evening, a hurricane, and before it hits somewhere in the Big Bend of Florida, looking like a major hurricane.
Yeah, it's possible at the rate it's intensifying right now and pressures are dropping. We could be pushing a hurricane late this evening.
Well, let's kind of take a look at the track as we see it here. And if you kind of look at this, there's not a whole lot of disagreement in which direction this is going. It does look like there's a bullseye for the panhandle area of Florida around the Big Bend.
That's correct. The steering pattern's pretty straightforward on this one. The models are in very tight agreement on where this thing's headed.
So as we look as this storm approaches, this is looking like sometime Thursday, during the day Thursday. But this is where it gets interesting for us here in Tennessee, depending on, if it takes more of an easterly track, maybe just heavy rain for us here. A more westerly track, if we're in that dirty side of the storm, that could create more problems than just potential heavy rain.
Correct. I feel like we're doing this. We just did this a couple of days ago, did we not?
Yeah. And that didn't pan out. So what are your thoughts on what might be different this time around?
Coming in from a more easterly angle, almost guaranteed this time to get more rainfall out of this system. And especially with it coming in at a faster clip, it'll probably, and being a stronger storm at landfall, probably have a little bit more wind energy when it arrives as well.
So the storm before kind of came into the west of us here, and we thought, well, that could create some problems with flooding and being on that side of the storm. However, it still went a little further west and to the northwest, I guess, Francine.
Correct.
So as we take a look at a couple of models here, just to give you a look and prepare, as Justin mentioned, rain is almost a certainty with this. It looks like, whether we get some additional severe weather parameters with that, I think we're a little too far out to see. But kind of the early message here is the rainfall, and this is the rainfall totals from the storm that are predicted. And of course, where it comes and makes landfall, you can always expect double-digit rainfalls almost with a major hurricane especially.
Correct. And really concerned about with the counterclockwise circulation around the northern end of that storm as it moves inland. The upslope flow, you're showing it right there, going up the eastern slope of the southern Appalachian Mountains. That could be a real dangerous flash flooding event that sets up right there.
Yeah, this is showing, Atlanta, the possibility of, double-digit rainfall amounts right on up into the spine of the Smoky Mountains and East Tennessee. So we want to make sure we're careful there. But let's zoom on in here and take a look at our area. This is Rutherford County, and estimates are of 3 to 4 inches, maybe some higher amounts. So Justin, 3 to 6 inches is really not out of the question with this, is it?
It's not. And, we got some areas had a pretty good amount of rainfall today, and there's going to be rain in the area again tomorrow. And so a little different than the last time where had been bone dry for a while. Now we've got the ground saturated a little bit, and it'd be interesting to see what the Nashville forecasters, as we get a little closer, have to think about on the hydrological side of things, how our rivers, our streams, our lakes can handle 6 inches of rainfall.
Yeah, well, it has been dry, but like you said, we got some rain today. We've got more rain chances even tomorrow before this storm system, and there's an interesting effect here. The front that's trying to come through is going to kind of stall out, and that's going to really determine or help determine where Helene goes and which path Helene takes, whether it's more easterly, westerly, where that front stalls out.
That's right. And it's going to leave a cutoff low behind that's going to kind of position itself over Mississippi, North Alabama somewhere, and that's going to be what kind of pulls that system back around to the northwest through the Atlanta area and up I-24 our direction.
Well, we don't take a look this far out very often here, but this is the storm as it gets into the Gulf of Mexico, where it's going to find some extremely warm waters. This is 4 o'clock tomorrow, and you can expect what's expected is rapid intensification. And this GFS model, you can see how it really wraps up right before making landfall. Looks like on Thursday evening at some point, and if it's at high tide, that could be a problem there as well. But and this is just a computer model depiction. What we wanted to really show you is as it comes inland, just the very heavy rainfall that's going to go through the Atlanta area, through Georgia, into South Carolina and North Carolina, and as it wraps around and wraps through here in our area, I need to back it up there a little bit. Several periods of heavy rainfall, really beginning on the 27th during the overnight and continuing. And kind of talk about this effect here, because it looks like these two systems here are kind of dancing around each other, and that's that cutoff low you were talking about, right?
That's correct. That's the fancy term for that is Fujiwara, where you got two different low pressure systems that will kind of dance around each other and merge into one common low pressure center. And being a cutoff low, it's not going to be quick to move and leave the area. So you're going to have all that energy and residual moisture that's just going to kind of sit and rain itself out in our general area.
Yeah, this is
over several days.
This is Friday night. Still some heavy rainfall in the area Friday night and into the day on Saturday as well. Looks like a pretty rainy Saturday. So we're going to definitely catch up on some of our rainfall deficits, it does appear. So as we wrap up, Justin, a few final thoughts from you on this storm and its potential impacts here.
Just if y'all have any family members or loved ones down that way, even further inland into Georgia, this storm's not moving as slow as most tropical systems go. So like I said, it will carry its power and energy further inland than normal. And even up into the higher elevations of the Appalachians, that wind energy aloft, it's still going to be powerful. And so those higher elevations are going to be getting some high end wind speeds still. And on top of the flash flooding threats up there. So just pay attention to your local forecast offices, listen to your local news sources, and just prepare for what could be a couple of days without power in some of these areas.
Yeah, unfortunately, and this is a big storm too. It's not like a small compact hurricane. It's really big. Does it compare in size to Katrina was pretty large, if I remember right. Not expecting that it is just like that, but these larger storms, Ivan, I think maybe was one of those larger storms. So it covers a large mass. So you're talking about hundreds of miles in either direction that's going to have impacts.
Correct. Because it's generating off of the Central American Gyre, which is a large monsoonal low already. There was a Hurricane John made landfall in the Eastern Pacific. It spun up off of the Central Atlantic Gyre or Central American Gyre as well. You already had so much atmosphere in motion, and now it's just sucking the remnants of everything into this one area. And it's going to be a very large storm.
Well, we'll continue to watch that and its potential impacts here. And I hope you got some good rain today. Thankfully, the storms weren't too bad. And Justin, appreciate you joining us tonight here on Rutherford Weather and giving us your thoughts on the potential for Helene here in Rutherford County and Middle Tennessee.
You have a good evening.
All right. Thanks, Justin. And you have a great evening out there as well for those watching on Rutherford Weather.